pushing you. I'll push you 2 times.
Well, no, we're working on the back right now. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning.
Okay.
We'll move through the different techniques.
I need shoes.
And so for the beginning of hand strikes, let's get this up to,
I need shoes.
which isn't exactly head level, per se, but it's close enough, you know, because we're kind of at that point where I can, you know, move it up higher, but then it's going to be considerably taller than you. Yeah, we'll take it back down. Okay, so we'll start with the jab.
Okay, jab.
Start with straight jab, and we'll start from a couple of different positions. We'll start first with just a standing jab. Okay. Now again, this isn't like a sport jab per se. You know, we're not turning our hand over. It's just going to come straight out, straight back. But we want that weight to still move into it here. Okay, so rather than, we're still. So we'll move ourselves back a little bit. Give that space. There we go. No, we're not going to step on this one.
Oh, no,
Step in a minute. Right now, we're just going to
wait.
lean. We're move our weight forward, straight, nice and quick. And now the idea, right there. Okay. So again, remember, keep your hands up.
Dad, do we have any applicated bottles?
I don't know what that is, man.
Those are like the bottles that you squeeze mustard and ketchup out of?
Yeah, there should be in the pantry.
It's about that distance.
Yeah.
So this has to be quick.
Yeah. And that's the idea. You're looking for relaxed and quick. Body moves forward, relaxed and quick. Now again, it doesn't have to be as fast as like a sport jab, because we are actually looking to do damage with this technique.
Okay.
You know, but this is meant to be a faster technique based more on speed and damage rather than power and maximum damage.
Okay. I'm going to try my right hand, my stronger hand.
Okay.
Hey, Dad, got some shoes.
Okay.
So, is that about right? Is that about right?
Move back a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. Try it from there. There you go.
Let me try.
Now also, don't be afraid when you're coming in.
I want to do it.
Goosey, settle down please, or you're going to have to go inside. So when you're coming in here, don't be afraid to, see how I'm dropping my shoulders and kind of moving into it? Yeah. I mean, I'm still keeping my eye on my target. I'm still keeping my body relatively square. I mean, I'm blading myself slightly. I don't want to be completely out here,
Okay.
you know. But I'm coming in and kind of, I'm almost dropping just a little bit. You know, here. Just like that.
Damn, that is a damage hit. That is not merely defensive. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Try this hand.
Now the only problem with this is again, practice. You want to make sure you're being nice and smooth and you're not telegraphing what you're doing. And that is the hard thing.
Okay.
When you're throwing your whole body into something like a jab,
Yeah.
that's the hard habit that's going to be the break. Because even I still do it to a certain point.
Yeah.
Is you still end up telegraphing a little bit.
Okay.
But again, we're not throwing punches for points. We're throwing punches for damage. So.
Oh, that one hit hard.
I'm
Not that one.
fixing that.
There you go. Definitely better with your right hand.
Yeah, that's what I like about this is I'll be able to do my left practice and get that back up to snuff a little bit.
Now the next thing is we're going to take a slightly longer step back, so you're just outside of reach.
Okay.
You know, we can't just lean and catch with that jab.
Okay.
So now we're going to step. Now that's the catch is, again, I'm going to step, but I want to come back.
Okay.
So here.
Let me try it. I think you.
Yes. There you go. A little too close. Get back a little bit. There you go.
I'm pushing out, Dad. I'm holding you, Dad.
Yes, Lucy. I love you too.
Why, that's holding you.
You're just holding me. Okay, well, Daddy's got to move around a little bit, okay?
Yeah, get ready to. He's going to unleash the
All
power.
right. So there's a good way to work on the jab.
Okay. Yeah, good. Two kinds. One comes in there real quick.
Yeah.
And a little bit more.
Yeah, and then you got the step. Here.
Okay.
Technically, you can follow clean through with the jab.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, if you're at a distance and he's open, you can just...
Yeah, and do a push with it too, right?
And that's what you're doing. You've got that step in contact, and then you're just driving through with it.
Okay.
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 You know, something to think about. It's more of a pushing technique, a variation on the jab. You know, like we said, we have basic techniques and then whatever variations are applicable. So it's okay, Goosey. All right. So now the cross. What?
Yeah, you know the cross I was kind of messing with, and I was trying to figure out how do I do this. How do I do this with this bag?
We're talking about a cross, not a hook.
Oh yeah, I was doing that. Yeah, the
Yeah.
hook was the one I was having trouble.
What? There's no ghosts over there. Because you either play nice on the mats or you need to go inside. Alright, so what we're doing here is, again, we've got a couple, 2-3 feet from us here. Yeah, just a table. Okay? And so we're getting that turn into the body.
Okay.
And that is what we're aiming for. Generally, solar plexus, rib cage, upper chest is still okay, but I would think, you know, right in here, solar plexus, rib cage, lower abdomen, so right in there. We turn our hips. Ooh. Yeah, you want a good fist. Woo! This is where we get into it. If you don't have a good fist, you will hurt yourself.
I don't know how many hits I'm going to be able to take before I start ripping skin off my knuckles.
Well, eventually that's what will happen, actually. It happens more in a canvas bag. If you ever work really hard on a canvas bag, you see a lot of people who tape off their knuckles.
Yeah.
When I first started doing combat martial arts, self-defense stuff, I wasn't allowed to tape my knuckles up, and we work in the bag all the time. And my instructor used to say it's one of the few things that he still promoted from old school. He didn't believe in a lot of like the Makawari board stuff. It breaks up the knuckles. Because it does a lot of damage. Because I used to do that. He goes, now my hands don't work completely right.
Oh.
Working on a canvas bag without tape on your knuckles, what it does is it literally tears the skin off the top of your knuckles. You get rash burns, canvas burns, it tears the skin up. You'd see these old canvas bags and they'd have streaks of blood that turn dark brown and stuff on them.
Yeah.
But it builds up this conditioning, almost like a numbness. Not enough to build these giant calluses or really mess your knuckles up really bad, but just enough that it builds up a numbness and where you can, just like that. I mean, I'm just edging it, but you can see the marks my knuckles make.
Oh.
1, 2, 3.
Woo!
You hit somebody with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, you're not hitting them here, but I hit somebody with that right here.
Yeah.
And that's going to just crush it.
Wow. Yeah, I did this by accident this morning.
Hurts,
And I
don't
was
it?
like, oh.
Yeah. It burns, it hurts.
So I put some garden gloves on.
Yes. See, eventually you get to the point where that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
What I recommend is don't wear the gloves. Once your knuckles start to burn
Yeah.
or they bleed, tape them up or put gloves on.
Okay.
Okay. There's no need to push it to a hardcore extent.
Okay. So I'll watch that.
Once your
tonight,
hands
too.
heal, go back to going bare until they start to get a little damaged again. Put
Okay.
the gloves back on or tape them back up.
Okay.
By doing that regularly, you can still build up that endurance, that strength, and that numbness, as it were, in your knuckles. That,
Okay.
pain tolerance is really that pain tolerance in your knuckles,
Okay.
without completely tearing your hands apart.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I still have some hits in there for tonight.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I stop before I
Well,
start
now,
to bleed.
I was going to say, actually, if you've got them, there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll be able to punch a lot more with these on. At least for this first night.
Yes. Well, and if that's not enough, if it starts to get too much, I have padded bag gloves as well.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so now let me practice those a couple more times. This is the cross.
Yes, the cross.
So
Right there. Hips and drive. There you go.
oh yeah.
That's it. This is about power.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm already feeling that. It's left.
Yeah.
Left is a little bit weirder. That's some force.
Yeah, well now you take that same thing and pick that up into the neck.
Woo. All right. And with that emphasis kind of on going through his neck, right?
Yep. A little bit lower. Say you're getting.
Oh yeah.
About there. You want your neck.
My neck. Not Doug's neck.
Not Doug's neck. Your neck.
Golden ratio, man. Woo! I like.
Yeah.
I like. All right. Thanks for this glove. You just saved my butt.
No problem.
All right.
Okay. Now, before we go through the rest of the techniques, let me give you a good workout idea for this. In principle, you take all of your striking techniques.
Okay.
Okay. You take all of your kicking techniques. Whatever you're working on the bag. Okay. When you decide, you know, I'm gonna do. You set up a bag workout. Is a good way to do it.
Okay.
You know, spend one day working on upper body techniques, the next day working on lower body techniques. Then you take a day or two off.
Okay.
Give your body a chance to heal and stuff like that. Ideally, you start 50 techniques each hand.
50 techniques.
That's right. So you're doing the jab, you're going to do 50 jabs.
Oh.
Bang, bang, bang. And then you're going to switch sides. Bang. 50 times, 50 jabs. Okay? Same thing with the cross. You're going to do 50 crosses. With one hand, you're going to turn. You're going to do 50 crosses with the other hand.
Do you recommend switching them, or do you recommend doing 50 in a row?
No, do 50 in a row.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, what we're doing right now is we're conditioning.
Okay.
We're building muscle memory and we're doing physical conditioning.
Okay.
Okay, so every one of your hand techniques, you do 50 in a row.
Okay.
50 in a row. Now I would save stuff like the shoulder bash to go with your leg techniques because it actually does use more leg strength than it does upper body strength. You know, that kind of thing. So you take that, but so you do 50 with each side. When that gets to the point where it no longer completely wears you out,
Okay.
to do 50 with each, do 100 with each. Once you get to the point in your personal training where you're doing 100 techniques with each hand, and it doesn't completely and utterly destroy you, then we'll start putting combinations into your bag training.
Okay.
And that's when you can start working, and that's at the point in time. By then you've built up a certain physical conditioning, you've built up enough muscle memory that now you can start working just combos, and you'll put together a combo session.
Okay.
Of training that you do upper body combos, lower body combos, and stuff like that you can work with the bag. Right? It's worked for me. It's a really good way to do it. It really wears you out, actually.
I'm sure. So we got jab, we got cross.
That's cross.
Now the hook, I was having trouble figuring out how to do the hook on this thing.
Okay, for the hook, first of all, don't aim for the edge of the bag.
Okay.
The bag's kind of heavy. You know, yes, ideally when we throw the hook, we're aiming inside the neck here, across the jaw, or inside the temple and the ear. And remember when I was talking about at the park, we were talking about aiming, if you're aiming for the face, to aim for this general cheekbone area right here,
Okay.
because it's broad and covers a lot of points. Well, that's the middle of your head.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're throwing that hook, instead of aiming for the front of the bag, aim for the middle of the bag.
Ah.
So when you throw that hook from the outside here, get yourself a little close. And remember, a hook's an inside throw. You don't throw a hook from out here. We're not reaching for a hook.
Okay.
Now, yeah, you can do the stepping hook, but even when we do the stepping hook, I'm right in front of it.
Mm.
The same as I'd be with you. If I'm going to step in for a hook, I'm going to come here to come around your arm.
Okay.
If I'm doing it from behind, I'm still getting in close.
Okay.
See how close I am to your body?
Yeah.
That's how close I need to be to the bag.
Okay.
Okay? So when I throw that hook,
You want to be close, and you want to be kind of highish,
yeah.
because.
Well, you can throw it if you're aiming for the armpit.
Yeah, right. Armpit. Right.
You know.
Armpit, cheekbone.
Yep.
Could you
So,
hit
armpit,
neck too, right?
neck, face.
Right on. Right on. Okay, so get them tight. Now this one is.
Yep. So you entice. It's a big. Remember, drops, big body turn. There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Ow. Okay, I hurt myself.
Yes. Lock the arm in place. Make sure you lock the wrist.
I felt that
Lock
one.
the elbow. Yeah. Remember, your wrist should be locked like this, so when it hits, that's all lined
Oh,
up.
yeah, it's like that.
You don't want this bent back or bent forward.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's better because I'm not hurting myself. I'm
Yeah.
just doing more damage. That's the cool thing. It's got the best of both worlds. Oh,
Yep, try the other side.
This is kind of fun because I'm learning it all new, like I haven't done before.
Yeah. Only you already understand the basics of the technique,
Exactly.
so.
So now I can hit something with it.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Oh boy, if you get that, you know, it's all about the hips, man.
It is.
Everything you do,
All
if you
your
get that
power
fucking
comes from
body
your
in there-
hips. All the
Yeah.
power in your body comes from the center of your body.
Yeah. Wow. Awesome. Cool.
Okay, so there's your
So
hook.
the hook is all about getting in tight.
Yeah, the hook is an
That's how you
inside. Same thing with the elbow.
Okay.
Inside.
Do you scrape the skin off your elbow with that one?
Oh yeah, look at my elbows.
Well,
I don't have much feeling left. The elbows, the front of my elbows and the front of my knees, there's not much feeling left in any of those.
oh yeah. Oh shit.
And now you see just
That would hurt.
how powerful an elbow
Oh.
can be.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try this left now. That can really be something with the hips in there.
Oh yeah.
And you're not going to hurt yourself.
No. This part of your
Oh,
body
this.
can take a ton of abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, easily. You can tear up the skin, tear the skin up. I mean, this is all pretty much bone and cartilage.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's designed to take a lot of abuse. So if you get up on somebody, this isn't not like hitting somebody. If you hit somebody in the face with this, it's not like hitting with your knuckles, where you could break fingers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Somebody's face is going to give before your elbow is considerably.
Shit, yeah.
You know, so when you think about putting that elbow up in somebody's rib cage
Yeah.
here, or across the temple here, it can be a devastating technique if used properly.
Oh. Yeah. Awesome. Freaking awesome. Okay, so now we got jab, cross, hook,
Elbow, uppercut.
uppercut. Yeah. Now how do I do this
Uppercut.
without putting blood all over this?
Yes, uppercut is actually difficult. There's a lot of companies that make uppercut bags.
Yeah.
They like hang from the ceiling.
Okay.
They almost look like duffel bags that are filled with. I've seen people actually make them out of duffel bags that they just pack with old shredded jeans. They save up all their old jeans. They have them shredded up and they just pack it with old shredded jeans and some sand, to keep some weight on it and whatnot. But so that you can, come up and hit it.
Yeah.
You can still practice that on this. Ideally, though, rather than coming up on the jaw, which is because we don't have a jaw here to hit, it's all smooth. You will tear your knuckles up.
Yeah.
For use on this bag, practice the uppercut like we do when we talk about the body uppercut, where we come in here
Okay.
to the body. That's what we're going to work on a bag like this. We're going to work that body blow uppercut. We're going to come in here.
Okay. And this is pretty in tight.
Oh yeah.
So this one's pretty in tight. Pretty something like that.
Yep.
And then again, put the hip in there.
Hip in there, big body
Put it
motion.
out right here.
Keep that arm tight.
Okay.
Just like
90-degree angle.
90-degree angle, just like the normal uppercut that comes all the way up. Only we're just hitting the body with it.
Those knuckles are almost gone. But still got a little bit left in there. That's the left, not the left thing. Let's see here. Left is always a little bit here.
Here, let's get you.
No, pretty good.
My other gloves actually have wrist support on them as well.
Yeah, I can see the skin coming off now. Oh yeah, right on. Let's get a good workout out of these bad boys. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, see that?
Yeah.
A few more hits.
Yeah.
As long as it's not bleeding too bad. I hope I can ride my motorcycle okay tomorrow morning. Who knows? long as I can ride my motorcycle, that's all I
Oh, you'll be fine.
That's what it's always all about. One time I was trying to ride my motorcycle when I lived in Chicago with freaking snowmobile gloves.
Yeah.
The ones with the 3 fingers in them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like, no, I can't do this. I'd much rather have freezing cold hands. I can't feel anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't feel the controls. Alright.
Okay. So now, shovel hook.
Okay.
See, these are good bag gloves.
Oh, these are really good, dude.
You know, I just think I don't like to use them. I don't use these on the bags. I actually use these for sparring and for fighting and stuff like that. Light contact stuff. Yeah, I used baby oil and rubbed it into the leather to help break it and soften it up a little bit so it's not such a hard hit. But these are actually designed to be heavy bag gloves. I don't like to tell people to use these all the time because it keeps you from developing that pain tolerance in your hand. But these are good to have for just your situation where you're just starting to build that pain tolerance. And so now your knuckles are tore up. You don't want to completely ruin them, you know, but you're not done working out yet. So you stop, you put on something like this, and then you go back to the workout. Okay?
Perfect.
All right, shovel hook.
Okay.
Yes. So the shovel hook comes from here. We're normally coming in to the rib cage anyways, you know, right in here, right inside the armpit, maybe underneath the jaw, but usually most, you know, unless they're already out like that, you're not going to really get a shovel hook inside your face. So a shovel hook comes up, bang, this cross body. So what we're going to do is just that. We're going to reach down, we're going to come up, and again, we're not aiming for the front of the bag. We're not aiming for the front of the bag here. We're aiming for inside that body, right about here, armpit, rib cage area. Just like that. Oh, careful, Goosey. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Remember to keep that other hand up. Keep the hand up.
Oh, yeah, I love these gloves, dude.
They're not expensive. Most sporting goods stores carry them. You can get online and order them right from Century Martial Arts Supply. Mike's like, yes, he's down!
I bet you I can find these on Amazon.
Oh yeah, you can. They're all over the place. There's other companies that make them now. Now there's all kinds of, I mean, those are the Chuck Norris ones that Century Martial Arts sells, but there's all kinds of companies that make them now because they're really popular with the whole MMA crowd.
Let me guess, these probably cost $120?
No.
No?
No, I bought those when I was still in South Dakota and stuff. Those are, I bought these when they first came out. I couldn't afford to pay $120 when I was a kid. I was poor. So I think I might have paid $50 for them when they first came out, when they were brand new. And I know you can get a pair for a lot less than that now.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I might do that for just that reason. Like after my knuckles are ripped,
Yep.
but I still want to work a little bit more. That's what they're for.
Yeah, and they work good for that. Not to mention for the type of fighting that we do, when we actually get to the point where I'm letting you guys fight with me and with each other, and we're doing the striking and the grappling all together. These are good for that.
Okay.
Because they're good for control. You still can't go 100%, but they do allow you to make real contact without doing permanent damage to the other guy.
Okay.
And still leave your hands open for use.
Yeah.
You know. So I like these gloves. And there are other gloves that are like that. There are other, they make, what are they, Wing Chun? The Chinese boxing gloves, like Bruce Lee used. And they're completely soft leather on the inside for grabbing, and they've got thick, heavy padding on the outside.
Okay.
You know, those are a little bit pricier, though. A little bit harder to find, but they're out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have done more shovel hooks, but I just want to make sure I have enough for each of these things.
Yes.
Before I'm completely
Before you're completely done? Okay. So yeah, there we've got the shovel hook.
And keep the hands up?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, here.
So I'm not like totally dropping them, just doing that.
Yeah.
You
never want to get to that point. Yeah, you never want to get to that point when you're coming in. Remember, when we start combining all of this stuff together, and we start actually using it in an aggressive fashion, like when I'm talking to you guys about using multiple techniques at the same time. If I'm here and I drop my guard when I step in for a technique, not only am I open for you to continue to attack me, especially if I miss.
Yeah.
If you see it coming and you dodge, and I'm completely open, there I am.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not using my body together completely, which is the whole principle behind this. Our hands are up, you come in. If I step in for that jab, I'm doing this as well. Because I want this hand. Remember, my striking techniques and kicking techniques are only to get me close enough to break something on you and put you on the ground. I'm not actually going to box with you the whole time. You know, so I want to, you come in with that outside here, I'm here, two things, pop, 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 and there's my hook. And I take the arm bar as you go down.
Hey, Daddy?
Yes.
Since it's just about time to leave, can I just real quickly throw them?
No, that's two. Inside, please.
Why?
Because I said so.
So which throw did she learn?
Ippon Seoinage, single arm shoulder throw.
Single arm shoulder throw.
Yes.
Have we done that one?
Yeah, we have a variation of the single arm shoulder throw that we use.
Okay.
But she did the traditional judo style Ippon Seoinage. She's very happy. It was good. Very impressive. She threw everybody in the class. She did a good job. And actually, are we running late? Is it? It is. No, it's not. It's almost time to go. It's not almost time to go. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, Maddie. Okay. I need to close the door, please. I don't want to hurt you. All right. So what have we gone through so far?
Okay, we got the jab.
Okay.
We got the freaking cross. We got the hook.
Okay.
We got the freaking we got the elbow. We got the freaking uppercut.
Okay.
And we got the shovel hook.
And the shovel hook. All right. What's next?
Well, let me think. There's like we could
Palm
do-
strike.
Oh, palm strike. Yeah, that's right. Ugh.
Palm strike.
Palm strike.
Which you can do like a cross. Again, although technically then it's just an open-handed cross. Remember, the definition of the cross means it comes across your body
Right.
from behind. You know, so ideally the palm strike is meant to be both a strike, but more like a pushing
More like a
technique.
push. Yeah.
You know, so one thing you can do this where it becomes very effective on the bag as far as training goes is I like to step in and get it in right in the body. Just like I'm coming in here and bang, hitting you right there on that rib cage. Because that's actually a very good technique here and here. Now when you get to the point you want to start working like on the neck, where we talk about like with the hook and with the hitch underneath and driving that neck to the ground. One of the advantages of an adjustable bag like this for working that is you can figure out where your neckline is. And you come in here, you get that step right next to where their body would be.
I remember that.
Okay? Here.
Oh, damn.
And you can actually get that full drive that you can't do here in class because you can't be crushing people in the neck.
Right. Full drive. Full force. Someone's getting hurt.
Yeah.
Now I got this question. Now, I noticed when you did this palm strike that you did.
Yes. I step in.
Now when we were practicing the cross, we were just doing that.
Because that's where a cross is. Remember the cross, we come here, we go pop and step.
Right, it's pop and then step.
Yes.
Now some of these other moves we were learning, like I was concentrating really hard at the park, it was kind of like about almost simultaneous.
It is.
Slightly after the
Yes.
step.
Slightly, it's technically speaking, it's a hair. You know, your body weight makes contact and locks, and all that energy pushes forward through your hand. That's a really hard thing to focus on. Really, all you need to do is focus on same time.
Okay.
If you focus on same time, eventually, again, through training and practice, you will get that little bit of a difference naturally.
Okay.
So that's not so much something to worry about. You keep it in the back of your head, but don't concentrate too much on that. Focus on same time, here. And think rib cage. So I'm not, again, we talk about side roll. I'm not putting that palm strike right in front of me. I'm putting that palm strike right here.
With a little bit of a hitch.
Yep. There you go.
That?
Yep.
I have left-handed stuff. So this is, I'm emphasizing a little bit more of the push side.
That's what this is. And this is more of a push. I'm coming in and I'm hitting you with my hand, but I'm pushing through with it. I want to move you.
Okay.
A palm strike should be something that moves them.
Okay.
You know, a jab can keep somebody in place. I can come in and go whack. And even with the follow through, I might get this, but ideally I'm not trying to drive you clean away.
Okay.
Because you're already here. The palm strike is great for like the reach to the outside where I come here, right here. I want to move your body even though I'm going to keep this arm.
Oh, I see. I see. That's the idea. You grab my arm and the body.
Yeah, and the body's going like that. Same thing under the neck. When we do this on the neck, when we come inside, like we wrap here, and we come underneath here, this palm strike is going to just drive clean through. Whether you put it on the face. The palm strike is great to put on the face. If you really want to hit somebody in the face, that guy that comes out like this, like what? Right there, when he steps up, you stick that palm strike in his face and you just push. Easy to break his nose, teeth, and very difficult to do any real damage to your hand. You might get a couple cuts, scrapes, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, that's a palm strike.
If you're a biker, you wear motorcycle gloves, it's even easier to hit somebody with a palm strike and not hurt your hand.
I was friend. You ever heard of Ute Jong? Freaking Ute Jong. You ever heard of Chung Wu Kwan?
Yes.
I had this friend who was in Chung Wu Kwan in the 80s. They were like a cult.
Yeah.
And he was way into it. And he
like they're not now.
Yeah. Are they still around?
A little bit,
yeah. Busted. Anyway, he spent so much of his money, and they were teaching him this thing where he'd go like this, and it would like produce this pocket of air in his palm.
Yes.
It would like bust through and like destroy.
Yes.
It was called Ute Jong. So he would.
Yeah.
He would always
Ute
be like
Jong,
this.
Dim Mak, the death touch.
Yeah. So he'd be doing stuff like this all over my house, and every time we saw him, he'd always be going like this. Just so he could get this little pocket of air.
Yeah, he's trying to learn that master pocket of air to, there is, people misunderstand what death touch is. Sort of. There is a death touch in traditional Asian martial arts.
Okay.
It's not what most people think it is when you talk about it. You can't actually, I shouldn't say you can't. In the history of my martial arts, I've never met anybody who could go and kill a man. Okay? The principles of Dim Mak are based on pressure points and sufficient bodily damage.
Is this stuff or something?
No, it is literally based on the principle of if I hit you with my hand in a certain way, with a certain amount of pressure, in a deadly point, like your throat, I could kill you in one technique.
Okay.
That's a death touch. Okay. And there are other points in the body.
It's not like this. Boing.
Yeah, there's no, ooh, and you die. There's nothing like that. That's the flat.
Yeah, punch that son.
So that whole thing back then in the 80s when they were doing that,
Oh, man.
bullshit. Like back in like the 90s, I remember going to like the Open Masters tournaments and stuff like that, and there's guys doing demonstrations. And I remember at one point in time at the Masters in Hawaii, this guy was doing this demonstration. He was talking about how he could tear the skin off a human body. And Kenneth Funakoshi actually came out and said, "Do it." The guy looked at him like, what? He took his gi off and said, "Do it. Tear the skin off my body." And the guy tried. The guy actually tried. He was put on the spot, and rather than coming up with an excuse, he said, "Okay," and he tried. And I mean, some bruises and some pinching, but there was no blood or anything like that, or crap. Stuff that is physically, you have to think about physics.
Yeah.
The physics of me driving my fingers through your skin and having enough force and the friction involved with tearing the flesh off of your body. Or driving my fingers through your rib cage and ripping your heart out of your chest. Okay? And even principles like the Dim Mak people think of, the death touch, where you do this and you build up the pocket of air, and the pocket of air drives physical force. And it's that whole thing with the little balls. You can see the ball gets one, the other side moves. It's how a plunger works. A lot of plumbing. The idea of a plunger.
Yeah.
Physical force on here, connection, conductivity, principles of motion, the thing on the other end moves.
Yeah, exactly.
The human body is still resolved to the principles of friction. The kind of friction involved in me going and having the force that bursts out your heart or the back of your chest is physically not possible for the human body to do.
Dude, he lost so much money with those guys.
Oh yeah.
And they avoided the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. It's one of those dudes. And like first degree was like $1,000, second degree was $2,000, third degree was $4,000, then it was $8,000, then it was $16,000, and it doubled. And these guys were like 7th or 8th degree and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're spending that money.
Oh, they're spending that money. There are people, even in the American Shotokan Association here in town. Your black belt, taking your black belt test is $500 to take your black belt test. Now they're not a joke. The American Shotokan Society is very legitimate. I forgot his name now. Total dude, glad he's not standing here. He kicked my ass. But he runs a very legitimate club. It's traditional Shotokan karate, very legitimate. But he is expensive. He's considered a Japanese master, you know. And so, you know, people pay to train with him. That is a big deal. I used to teach for him. I still had to pay to teach for him. I got a discounted rate from students because I was actually teaching for him. But I still had to pay even though I was working for him.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't do that anymore, because I'm a cheap bastard and I can't afford to do that. But most of the students are people like doctors and lawyers who have that kind of money, who want to be able to train with this elite person. So $500 for a black belt test is really not a big deal. You know, and it goes up from there. And there are clubs that are like that. There are clubs here in town where you pay, you know, $300 to $600 a year for yearly membership, plus $60 to $100 a month.
Ooh.
Plus, you have to pay for belt promotions, and to get a belt promotion, you're required so many hours of private one-on-one training with the instructor, which you pay extra for.
Oh my God.
These are belt factories. Those are what we call belt factories, because they're not designed to teach you any legitimate fighting skill. They're designed to make money and teach you the motions and get you promoted. Now, see, that's the catch. As Americans, we don't understand the principle of dedication for promotion. That promotion is not a bonus for paying for class. Promotion is something you get from years of dedication and learning. We don't understand that. If I'm paying, I should be getting something for what I'm paying for. You know, and we get that to a point. We go to college, we're paying for an education, but even at that point, look at how many college students skip by because they're paying, and they get their degree, but really they haven't learned anything. We come to that same point with a lot of martial arts dojos here. They're paying, they need to be getting promoted. Whether they're actually learning what they should be learning to get a legitimate promotion or not. That's right. They'll quit. They'll break their contract.
How much am I spending on this?
That's right.
I haven't even gotten a belt in 2 years.
Yeah.
I quit.
See, you go to Japan, you pay through the nose whether you ever get promoted or not. And Japanese people pay to work with a certain instructor because it's that instructor. They're not thinking, oh, I better get promoted. They're thinking, if I want to work with him, this is what I got to pay. And that's it. That's the only thing in their mind. So, we haven't reached that point yet. Otherwise, I would have more students and be making more money. Okay.
So let's see. So we had the palm strike.
Palm strike.
Well, there was this
Spear hand. Before we get to
spear
that.
hand. Yeah.
Okay.
Spear hand.
Now again, hands up here. Okay. So again, this is a stepping motion. So we're stepping in with the strike at the same time, and that's it. Yeah. Remember now. Remember where I use this. When I use this, no, we're not thinking straight on. Like when I use this, I'm coming in here, ridge to the edge of the, you know, and I use that all the time. When we talk about, you know, when we get into this grappling situation, you know, we're in here, and I want to make you move. I stick that up there, or I slide it up in here, you know, or I pop it up there, coming from the side. I've even done it with leg dub. On the rib cage, when that arm comes over, and I pick it right up inside there.
Wow! The human body never ceases to amaze me. Oh my God!
So we don't do anything. So we don't want to hit here. Remember, we don't want to hit our fingertips.
Right.
We want to hit the ridge of our hand, but we don't want our hand to bend. So we're still coming straight through, but I've got this angle so that I'm hitting right there. So ideally, what I'm hitting is actually, if this is the front, trying to figure out a front line, and I want to hit 45 degrees across that line. So I'm here. And you should actually come from just like that. There you go. You feel the thud, but you're still sliding off because you're driving through. There you go.
That's a very
It's a surprisingly effective technique that a lot of people do not consider.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Now, technically, you can use that traditionally the way Asian styles do, which again is like the hammer. You wrap it. It's a variation of its use.
If I do that, I'll do the hammer fist.
Yeah. But then, so then we have the hammer fist, which can come. This is an advantage of having the height adjustment.
Okay.
Even if you want to move it up really high here, so that if you want to do the overhead, right there.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Right there.
Yeah. Ouch, that hurts.
And you're aiming for the front of the face, across the bridge of the nose, or at like shoulder level. Collarbone, front of the rib cage, that kind of thing.
Oh, dude, that would hurt. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about getting the whole body.
And that's what it is. It's a whole body. Remember, this is not so much a strike. This is a chop.
A chop.
This is a chop. Whole body comes in. Like you're swinging down with an axe. Or there's a hammer in your hand. You're going to crush that with a hammer. You know, so it's a chop.
Okay.
Kind of like the shovel hook isn't actually a hook or a strike. It's a swing. You know, it's a body swing. Bang. And we talked about that one class when we talked about strikes and the variations being swings, chops, or body strikes.
Yeah.
Technically, the vertical hammer fist is a chop.
Okay.
Whereas the cross body hammer fist is actually a swing. The body swings it around.
Whew. That's the shit. That's the shit.
Slightly slower technique, but
Am I trying to keep 45-degree angle, or should I extend it?
don't extend it all the way. I mean, you don't want to keep, a 90 or necessarily a 45 per se,
Okay.
but you don't want your arm overextended. You want that bent
So
to absorb some of that pressure you're putting on. Plus, again, he catches that arm, and he knows, he's a grappler, jiu-jitsu, judo, aikido, anything like that, and he's going to be doing arm locks too.
Okay.
So we don't want to give him an arm lock that we would use against him. So there you go.
Awesome. God, that's powerful.
It is. It's very strong.
Yeah, that's a big damage move. Big damage move.
All right. Thrusting elbow.
Okay.
Okay. So again, step through. And this is just like that shoulder bash, only we focused it all on the small point. So, I mean, in theory, you should be able to
Oh, yeah.
pretty easily. You obviously don't want to kick the bag up every single time you do
Exactly.
this.
Yeah.
So, we're going to come through. Want to make sure we've got a good distance because this is a big, this is a full body motion. So yeah, this is a big step. We're going to come here and in. You're not going to get that big thud or anything like that because again, this is a body.
This is kind of
This is a body
push.
drive.
Yeah.
Best way to do this. Come on, Howie. Is if the bag can go up against something like a wall. So now when you do it, go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So you get
That's
that, it
nice.
hits something and you get that resistance.
Yeah, and then I'll know where to put my hand.
Yep.
So I don't hit my face.
So you don't hit your face.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, good.
Right?
Excellent.
So if you're by yourself, move this up against the wall so that it hits the wall when you hit it. And that'll help with that.
Nice.
That's another way to use this on shoulder bash.
Okay.
Now again, bang. You're almost getting this lean because you can't stand right up against, because you've got this part here. So we come here, again, it's going to work a lot better if you can get this right up against the wall.
Yeah.
So here, try that with the shoulder.
Oh,
There.
yeah. Okay, this time I'll hit a little harder. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Oh,
There you go.
Right on. Oh, awesome, man. I'll try the other side, my weak side. Awesome, that's excellent.
See?
That is excellent. No resistance changes everything.
Good job, Goosey.
Don't hurt
Okay.
it.
Headbutt.
Oh, cool, cool.
Okay. We have something to grab.
Exactly, that's what I was
Here.
thinking.
Here.
Yep.
So now we can come down, grab here, and make sure we'll be able to feel that we're hitting with the right part of the head. Good job.
I want to do it.
Don't jump. Pull and push. There we go. Pull and push. Don't jump.
I like that because if you pull it hard enough, you'll know where it hurts and where it
Yes,
doesn't.
yes.
You feel where it should go.
And you feel whether your
Watch
neck's lined up properly or not. Come here, Goose, you gotta look out.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that my neck wasn't.
A little higher. You want to be hitting right about there. There we go. There you go.
Yeah, excellent. Awesome.
Dad, where's Howie?
Howie's right outside.
Is there anything else upper body that we?
I think that's the majority of the upper
Is
body
that right?
stuff. Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
Howie.
Trying to think.
No, the chicken kick is just pretty
Yeah, chicken kick's great.
obvious.
You can stand, you can do it, you know, you can get a grip just like you've got somebody's shoulders.
Yeah.
And you guys are in grappling or you're underneath the arm. You can position yourself where you'd be against somebody's body
Yep. Yes.
and get a feel for that. You can also get the feel from coming from the outside, where I can just touch the bag,
Yeah.
leaning forward, I can just touch the bag. Okay, there we go. So now I can step
Oh.
and I get the feel for that sliding chicken kick.
All right.
Like, you know, I get that little step forward. See how I get that little hop forward?
Okay.
I slide that foot along. There you go. So I get a nice right above his, right on his shin, above his toes. And you're just gonna take that foot right out from underneath.
Nice.
Dad,
Yes.
I want to go out there.
Well, no, you don't need to go out there. You don't have shoes on.
Then there was
The knee,
I want you to go out
thrusting knee. One thing that'll help with that. What, Lucy?
I want you to go out
No,
there.
Daddy's working on something right now. Is again, we can reach out and touch it. And we can kind of hold it in place a little bit as we thrust through it. See?
yeah.
Lucy, then open the door. There you go.
There's a little bit of a push in that one too. That
Yes.
Initial strike.
There you go. And again, this is something you get it up against the wall.
Yeah.
You know, here.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. That's good.
And then you can feel, you'll be able to feel the push from there.
Excellent. Then there was well, there was forward kick, right?
Yeah, front kick.
Front kick.
Now, ideally,
That's the best way to do that one.
right now, you use the lower part of the bag
Okay.
to get used to kicking the front part. Once you're confident that your toes are out of the way,
Okay.
one of the better ways to do this is actually against the base right there. Most of the time we kick people, it's low, and we're kicking at that knee anyways,
Yeah.
right there.
Okay.
But also, because this is a thrust or a push, we don't do a snap kick.
Yeah.
It's either a thrust kick
Okay.
or it's an actual push.
Oh yeah. Right on.
Okay?
Right on.
Working against the base, putting the thrust part here, or the push part right there, you can actually really push. And you get the feel of actually
Oh right.
hitting and pushing that back. Now you gotta bend your knee more.
So I'm going like that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I can feel that in my ankle. Gotta get the technique right.
Yep.
Mess up your
Now
ankle.
this is where the technique comes in.
Yeah.
This is still a kick, whether it's a thrust or a push. Knee comes up, and then comes out. There you go. If we're swinging like a football kick, which is kind of what you're doing, you're bending a little bit,
Yeah.
but you're kind of swinging and then just pushing your body out.
Yeah.
Now you need a bunch of space to do it.
Okay.
I need to do it from out here to
Okay.
hit you with it. Whereas I
Ah. Okay.
right inside. There you go.
Right.
So it's knee up, kick out. There you go. Remember, we're making that contact with the ball of our foot.
Ball of the foot.
Pushing that ball out there. There you go. There you go.
Cool. Cool.
Alright, so that's front kick.
Well, there was this thing to it.
Side kick. Again, we're going to shoot for the base. Right down here.
With this, right?
Yep, kicking up the blade, because ideally, you want here, 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 here is where we're aiming for this.
Okay.
Okay? So, it's a step. not a hop.
Okay.
Wah! We don't do that. It's a step, and right there. And it is, again, a thrust or a push. So, again, better if this is up against something. There you go. Keep your back straight. And look at the bag. Look at what you're hitting. There you go.
Balance is better now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hit it and lose my balance. Okay.
And you're stepping a little too close when you hit it. You're a little too close to it when you hit it. There you go.
Okay. Better. Oops. This will be good for practice, so I know how to hit my balance. Because you were teaching us, like, so you don't lose your balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a side kick.
Side kick.
Is there anything else? What are we doing in our warm-ups?
The stomp.
The stomp.
This bag in particular is actually great. The floor is great for practicing the stomp as far as conditioning your feet.
Yeah.
You get used to actually dropping your body weight and hitting the hard surface of the ground.
Yeah.
What this is this has this nice little ridge right up here. Some of these bags don't have it. Some of them are much wider and they don't have that nice ridge. The one important good thing about this is it's got the ridge. I talk about it all the time, picking that leg up as high as you can when you do the stomp.
Yeah.
And the idea being is we want to be able to use it not only from a distance, not only if I've got you stretched out, you know, it's easy for me to stomp from out here.
Yeah.
But even if we're in here, I want to be able to crush that leg from inside as well.
Okay.
Okay? This gives me the advantage to practice stomp right there. So now, I have to pick my foot up. I have to stomp right there and get my weight on it, I have to pick it up. High. And you got to figure, that's about right in line with your knee. So if you actually want to stomp right on the side of that knee, that's your spot right there. So the higher you pick that knee up, there you go. The more force you're going to have coming down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oops. Gotta do it a couple times. Oh, yeah, that one would hurt. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. I like my wave master. That's awesome, man.
You get into variations of stuff. The wave bag, again, you know, we talked about the palm strike and being able to drive through.
Yeah.
The wave bag is great for learning how to use, it's not an actual striking technique, but when we get into takedowns and stuff, the clothesline is a very common technique. It's not specific to European martial arts or even to Asian. It's kind of all over the place. More of a makeshift technique and stuff. But the clothesline, which again, like here, we're shaking hands. I come here, bang, and take that forearm right around. The clothesline is actually, I guess it would be a very European. It's traditional to a lot of Roman wrestling, like Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling. Backhold wrestling, I think, even comes up and uses that kind of clothesline. A pancake was what it was called when I was in high school. When I did freestyle wrestling in high school, it was called a pancake. You'd push him down, you'd let his head slide across your hand. When you picked his head up, you'd bang, clothesline. With the bag, you get that same effect. You know, here's about where his neck would be as I get to do the step through.
Oh. Ouch. Decapitation.
And you get used to body position. Because if you're too far past him, too much pressure on your shoulder, the clothesline doesn't work. Mm-hmm. If you're too far in front of him, you're just hitting him and he moves out of the way.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, a totally different kind of thing. So, you know, you get that whole feel of here. I like to do the back thing. This is the way this technique works again. You get here, I pull pressure here, and I keep that hip moving forward. As I come around with the hand, I keep that body weight moving forward. So you can get that here as I can put my hand here as I drive this and then drive through with it.
That? So that one is working?
Yeah.
Not dropping. Okay. I won't drop it anyway. It's good. Take like that?
Yep.
That's awesome. Of course, the left hand. I'm gonna try to do that with it.
Well, I mean,
kind of a slap.
to a point, you just don't want to be too far out. I mean, you're hitting him with it, But then you're also at that point where you can drive through.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Now, other good things with the wave bag. You get a belt, so you have something to grab onto, or you put a jacket or a shirt, heavy, over the top of the bag. We can work some of our throws. Just like they've got arms, or a shirt, or the stuff we do with the waist.
Yeah.
You can actually get a belt like this, a military style belt. And get your grips.
No shit.
To work body movements, your knee blocks, foot hooks.
Wow.
You know, and that's a good way to work that hook. Right there. We talk about hitting with that foot.
Wow.
Right off that grip.
Hey dude, you know when you start getting this Krieger and base shit like going for
You
real?
get in here off the shoulders. We talk about grabbing off the back of that shoulder and hooking underneath that arm. Hook.
Ah.
Hook. Get underneath that arm. There's our turn there.
Wow.
And even work stuff. Again, you get it back down. Well, off the shoulder or off the hip, wherever you want, to do those crosses.
I'm wondering if you should make a Wave Master like mandatory equipment. Like, if you join Krieger and Bay, you must own one of these within 2 months or whatever.
Within 2 months, you have to own a.
Like, save up $115 and get one of these for yourself. Because they're only $115.
Yes, I know.
You know.
I recommend them to a lot of people. They're a great training aid.
No doubt. God, now that I got it, I can't believe I didn't have one. I can't wait to go back and do this techniques again.
Yeah.
And get one of these so I can really put hours into it, you know?
But the military belts work a little bit better than this. And this is military style, but it's got the open clip.
Okay.
The military, if you actually go to an Army surplus store and get a web belt,
Yeah.
it's got a roller. So the belt slides in, and then you slide the roller down and it pulls tight.
Okay.
The advantage of that is you can pull it as tight as you want it and hold that,
Yeah.
and then yank it, and it will lock itself in place. So you can get a really good belt grip.
Nice.
And you can get a couple of them if you want. You put one at the base and one at the shoulder level. So we can, there's the belt,
Yeah.
there's the buttock, there's the side of the pocket. You can reach around, like right here. Shoulder, you can reach around the shoulder and get for the hooks.
Nice. Awesome. Well, the question is, should we get Maddie in here now so she can show her throw?